Securities. The opinions and recommendations contained in this broadcast are those of Keith Singer and Singer Wealth Management and not of Kovac Securities. Past performance is not a guarantee of future performance. Upon liquidation, your investment may be worth more or less than its original cost. The investments discussed may be suitable for only some investors.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
So you take the mouse and click over there, and then you can choose someone you want to call.
My niece. I click here?
Uh-huh.
This is Louisa. Recently she got help going online to chat with her family back home.
Okay, so then you want to hit that green button.
This is her first time on the internet and her first time seeing her niece in 5 years. Louisa doesn't know what to expect.
Louisa? Oh my gosh, there she is. This is amazing.
It's so good to see you. You look so pretty.
But this is definitely way beyond.
Oh my gosh.
See what the internet can help you do at everyoneon.org or call 1-855-387-9166 to find a free training class near you. That's 1-855-387-9166.
Oh, I've missed you.
Oh, me too.
Brought to you by Connect to Compete and the Ad Council.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement.
Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up! Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education, brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is the story of Mrs. Clark, who has lived on this very block most of her 80 years, often seen walking to town or serving brownies to the neighborhood kids, and everyone loves her. 2 years ago, a certain family member moved in to look after Mrs. Clark, and that's when everything changed. Mrs. Clark became the victim of elder abuse.
Elder abuse is often closer to home than you think or want to believe. McGruff, the crime dog here. The National Crime Prevention Council wants you to know the signs of elder abuse. Bruises, isolation, reduced activities, poor hygiene, depression, and financial problems. Protect yourself and speak out if you recognize signs of abuse in others.
Elder abuse is a crime that affects over 2 million senior citizens every year. Even more astounding, it's most commonly committed by a family member or someone they trusted. If you suspect abuse, contact your local law enforcement agency. To learn more, go to ncpc.org/seniors. That's ncpc.org/seniors. A message from the National Crime Prevention Council and the U.S. Department of Justice.
I'll never forget that moment.
Never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
As long as I live.
It started with a phone call.
I got the text when I was at work.
My first call up ever as a member of the National Guard. This was it, the real deal.
When we got to the armory, they briefed us on the wildfires, how they were getting dangerously close to homes.
It was amazing to be a part of this massive operation. Helicopters were going up with huge buckets to drop water on the fires.
Some of the guys in the unit were preparing for firefighting with local fire crews.
We went out in Humvees to help with the evacuations.
At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com. Discover what it means to be a citizen soldier, to serve locally as well as globally. Look into the benefits including career skills and money for college. Take a moment. Go to NationalGuard.com today.
Sponsored by the Florida National Guard. Aired by the Florida Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Talk 1470, WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
AM 1470, with more of what you need to know. Get all the latest in health coaching with Connie's Fitness Hour, Fridays at 1 p.m. on AM 1470, WNN.
AM 1470 with even more information you can use. Are you suffering with chronic pain? Tune in for No Bones About It with Dr. Alvin Stein. You'll learn non-invasive techniques that can help you get rid of your pain without the use of harmful drugs or surgery. That's No Bones About It with Dr. Alvin Stein. Tuesday mornings at 11, right here on AM 1470 WNN, South Florida's Health and Wealth Network.
This is Meryl Streep. Over the years, I have played some characters you could call controlling, but the truth is, there's so much in life we can't control. But here's something we can. Colorectal cancer. It affects men and women, and it's the second leading cancer killer in the U.S., which is astounding, considering it's almost entirely preventable. Here's how. Most colon cancers start as polyps, and screening helps find polyps, so they can be removed before they even turn into cancer. Screening also finds this cancer early, when treatment works best. For me, screening was simple and quick. It was no big deal, except for the huge sense of relief you feel afterwards. There are several tests that you can choose from. If you're 50 or older, you should talk to your doctor. Decide which one's right for you. Take control. Do everything you can to prevent colon cancer. Screening saves lives. It could really save your life. For more information, call 1-800-CDC-INFO.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
McGruff the Crime Dog here, inviting you to listen in on this example of exploitation of the elderly. See how quickly and easily this scammer defrauds his prey.
Hello?
Mrs. Swanson, you're home.
Who is this?
I'm Steve from your bank, and we've had a security breach.
Oh, my.
We're calling customers to make sure your account is safe.
Why, thank you.
If you'd kindly read your credit card number, expiration date, and security code, we can get started.
Oh, dear. I'll get my purse. Give me just a moment.
Smooth-talking criminals, often able to convince elderly folks to discuss personal or banking information, something they should never do unless the senior initiates the call. The National Crime Prevention Council wants to educate seniors so these scams can be reported to local law enforcement agencies.
Financial fraud can include identity theft, fake check and wire transfer scams, investment and credit card fraud, and online charitable solicitations. Unfortunately, only 1 in 5 of these crimes are reported. To learn more, go to ncpc.org/seniors. That's ncpc.org/seniors. A message from the National Crime Prevention Council and the U.S. Department of Justice.
This is Talk 1470.
Talk 1470.
WNN. The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Welcome to The Gift of Life with Gregg. I'm your host, Gregg Francis, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Barry Kaplan. We save lives, plain and simple. Have you known someone stricken with leukemia? Has a family member of yours suffered from lymphoma? Then turn up your dial. This show is for you. We are the gift providing a second life. We are the gift of life. Since 1999, we've saved over 2,700 lives. For many patients with blood cancer, bone marrow donation is often their last hope, and that's where we come in. We try hard at what we do, but we will never be satisfied until we can say, one day, we found a match anytime, anywhere, for anyone. That's the Gift of Life way. So now we have the scissors, we've opened the box, and now it's time to unwrap the gift of life.
Hello, everyone, and a happy May 26th, 2015. Welcome to our show. Hope everybody had a wonderful week and a really nice long weekend, Memorial Day. Thank you to all of our troops that makes this great country what it is. They put their selves in jeopardy and danger to afford us our freedom. So I can never say thank you enough to our military troops and the support of their families. It really is unbelievable, and I'm proud to give them their accolades every day of the year. Also in New York, and I guess the rest of the world, I say New York because this is where I'm from, it's the unofficial beginning of summer. And after the winter that they had on the East Coast, they probably were waiting months and months to hear those words. In Florida, that means that we stay indoors a little bit more often, that we're guaranteed a 4 o'clock rain shower sometime around 3. That's when we know that it's summer season. So last week's show, and I'm going to continue this mantra this week as well, we discussed the need for help. We have kits that we have to test in order to save lives. We introduced a new concept, or at least our new concept, called Pay It Forward, in which we are asking individuals to contribute $10 per month in order to help save lives. Again, that's 33 cents a day. It's very manageable for most people. As discussed numerous times, maybe many times, but yet never enough, 7-year-old Sammy of South Florida and 14-year-old Louis of Boca Raton are desperately trying to find a bone marrow match or a peripheral blood stem cell match from an unrelated donor in order to live. If you are lucky enough that your own children, your own grandchildren, your own loved ones are healthy enough and you don't have these daily worries, please find it within you to pay it forward. Only, as I mentioned before, 33 cents per day. And it goes a long way towards saving a life. I've witnessed many of these families. I spoke to many of these families, and as Valerie and I mentioned last week, it's not about losing a baseball game. It's not about winning a baseball game. It's not about going to a dance recital. It's not about soccer. It's not about going to a movie. It's about going to an oncologist appointment. 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 5-year-olds, they don't sign up for that. If you could find it within your heart, I'm asking you for $10 a month. Together, collectively, we could save lives. We have 2 children in our neighborhood, in our neck of the woods, that have been unsuccessful in their own family. Quite frankly, unsuccessful in bone marrow donors worldwide. We're not going to sit here and let them die. We have to make a difference. But we need your monetary support to test more kits. If you're interested in paying it forward, please call Anita at 1-800-9-MARROW. It'll be the best 33 cents a day you ever spend. As I said also on just about every show, and we're coming up on a year of Gift of Life with Gregg, we have too many underrepresented ethnicities in bone marrow donors worldwide. That means, unfortunately, people of these ethnicities that I'm going to speak about are going to perish. Pacific Islanders having a very tough time. Great article in the New York Times this past week. Our Hispanic friends are underrepresented. Our Asian friends are underrepresented. Our African American friends are underrepresented. Minority patients are suffering the consequences of people not swabbing. And you know what? It's not anybody's fault. Or you want to say it's everybody's fault? People just don't understand what needs to be done. Let's not wait till we need somebody to die needlessly. Patients suffering from these minority ethnicities will find a match less than 50% of the time when they're in need. Not if they're in need, when they're in need, because they're in need now. It's unacceptable, and we have to work harder. Normally, I would say, please call Corey and Frederick. Frederick happens to be in studio today, so Fred, we're really happy to have you.
Thanks for having me.
No, it's my pleasure, and thank you for filling in. But Corey's available waiting for your call right now, so please call Corey at 1-800-9-MARROW to get information on how you could get involved. And if you want to pay it forward, same number, 1-800-9-MARROW. Anita's specifically not taking her break today because she's sitting by the phone. So if you want to pay it forward, please call Anita, 1-800-9-MARROW. And we want to hear from you today on the show at 1-888-565-1470. As previously mentioned, and boy, does things change in a year, thanks to you, our supporters. Our show is now syndicated in 6 cities. Welcome Hotlanta, welcome Atlanta to our forum. So that means more awareness, more people swabbing, more contributions, hopefully. And the culmination of everybody's help will equal more lives being saved. In 2014, Gift of Life at 800 Yamato Road was responsible for saving 130 lives. You know what? After a management meeting, we're on pace to save more than 130 this year, which will bring our total to date to over 3,000 lives saved. It's an unbelievable accomplishment. A lot of people do it behind the scenes. They don't do it for accolades. They do it because they love helping people. And that's the greatest gift when somebody does it with anonymity. Congratulations, team. Congratulations to our listeners. Without everybody's collective efforts, we could never have made that happen. And our mantra for 2015 that we've been touching upon since the beginning of the year, our matriarch of Gift of Life, Arlene Feinberg, unfortunately passed away in January of 2014. But she did something that I challenge everybody to do, which is to put more into life than you take out of it. And Arlene certainly did that while searching for her son, Jay, who's celebrating his 20-year transplant anniversary. Jay, we love you, and to sustain good health. Arlene had a vision when she was searching for her son, who doctors said were going to perish. She wouldn't accept that for an answer. And her vision was to find a match anytime, anywhere, for anyone, regardless of age, color, creed, religion, that is suffering from blood cancer. In 2015, we're going to do our best to make Arlene's vision Arlene's reality. And you want to know something? The day that we could say that is the day that we could stop doing our job. Until that, we have a lot of work to do. For those people who are tuning in for the first time, we're so glad that you could join us for Gift of Life with Gregg. I'm Gregg Francis, and welcome to our show. And when I say our show, I'm certainly hoping that people are going to call in today at 1-888-565-1470. We broadcast live from Boca Raton, Florida, where it's about 92 degrees today, every Tuesday evening between 4 to 5 p.m., here on our flagship station, WWNN 1470 AM. For those that are listening in Atlanta, Philadelphia, New York, or on iHeartRadio, please feel free. It's a toll-free number. Please call in. We're here to spread awareness about the Gift of Life Bone Marrow Foundation, a life-saving nonprofit that gives patients, like our friend that we mentioned before, Sammy, who is battling Fanconi anemia, hopefully a second chance at life. But let's not even say hopefully. We want to do it. We want to give her a second chance at life. And she's in our prayers. We want to remind everyone of how special life is, how every day of health and happiness is a true gift of life. And you want to know something? Is what over my year of doing this show, still take stock of what I'm saying. Every day of health and happiness is a true gift of life. When you witness every day people that are fighting it and they don't have the luxuries of you do, of walking, even going to work, meeting with people, everything is engaged upon hope, oncology appointments, and if I'm going to live. If you have health and happiness, you're a very wealthy individual, which is something that we're going to talk about. It's graduation season, so that's going to be the crux of our show today. Before I go any further, I want to thank my own gifts of life, people who make me smile every day and really remind me of how lucky I am. And believe me, I know that I'm very lucky. To undoubtedly my biggest fan, my mom, Katie, who's listening in Lake Worth in the Bellagio complex. And if you're listening with Jerry and Miriam, hello, Aunt Miriam and Uncle Jerry. I also want to say a speedy recovery to my friend Joe Dox. I love watching soccer with Joe, and we watch many a World Cup together. He's been struggling, so Joe and Fran, I love you. I hope that Joe is on the mend real soon, and I'll see you over the summer. To my biggest Maryland fans, hello and thank you, Grandma Margie. She's outside of Baltimore where things seem to calm down a little bit. And Billy Beagle, who's the chairman of our board, who's at a gala today in New York, was in Israel last week promoting Gift of Life. He could go to 6 countries, 2 states, 3 cities, and he's always championing our cause, and he's done this for over 2 decades. Bill, I can't thank you enough. And to my 2 boys who are my gifts of life, Patrick, who is 8, and Nicholas, who is 12. They're both going to be graduating within a week, one from 2nd grade and one from 6th grade. Dad could not be prouder of you both. As mentioned in the earlier segment, we have a special guest in studio today, Freddie J. Santori, covering for Marty. And I can't say enough thanks and accolades about Marty. She stewards all the walks that we have, which include Boca Raton, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, District of Columbia, Virginia, and Massachusetts, with Chicago being on the docket next. She also brings a wealth of experience for Gift of Life with community relations and engagement. And Fred, I know that you just got back from vacation, but I wanted to thank you for stepping in today and tell a little bit what's going on with the CAP program.
Well, we are trying to get 100 campus ambassadors all over the country. And what our goal is to have these students run bone marrow drives on their respective campuses in the surrounding area, trying to get more people into the registry, but also sending out educational material and informing the masses about Gift of Life and what we do.
Yeah, you want to know something? I always say that we're the best kept secret in Boca Raton. But sometimes, a secret is good, but it's time. Rex Ryan once said it's in his Hard Knocks, and I'll keep the language clean. You don't want to be under the radar anymore. You want people to be in the know, and we want to be in the know. We want to be the go-to bone marrow registry. And I'm a big believer in that. Marty certainly helps that. Frederick, you the same. Valerie's here as well. Great assistant that I have. I love working with her, and she gets people in the know, helping out with ABC. She brought her friend Anthony Rumble Johnson, who fought a great fight on Saturday. So we're all doing this to try to help save lives. Fred, I know that Marty normally takes this piece, and you've been to walks, but it's so important to get sponsors for walks.
Yeah, it really is. We're trying to not only have a great event, but we like we said earlier, we have a need for funding. We need to test all the kits that we can, and we need corporate sponsors to help out. We need individuals to help out, not only enter into the registry, but also to fund these kits. So if you're a corporate sponsor, or if you have a small business and you want to help out, the number again is 1-800-565-1470. Give us a call, and we want to hear from you. But also, you can call us at our headquarters, 1-800-9-MARROW.
Yeah, again, if you want to speak today, it's 1-888-565-1470. And we have certain sponsors where you could sign up. On October 11th, we have a walk in Long Island, which is very exciting. It's my hometown. It's in Eisenhower Park. So I always love going back to Long Island. We had a great event last year with Mario, the DJ. Great time. October the 18th, it's going to be in Washington, D.C. in the capital region. Reason I know that, Fred, you know that I'm an avid Jet fan, and the Jets are playing Washington. I was hoping that the game was going to be in D.C. However, it's going to be in New Jersey. And to cap off our walk portfolio on October 25th, it's going to be in northern New Jersey. So as we get closer, we're going to consistently announce it. Please get involved, form a team, become a corporate sponsor, reach out, help us save more lives. So this is the segment where everybody, really tunes in to. And we learn a little bit about pop culture. I know that we learn a lot about bone marrow, fundraising, getting involved, civic responsibility. But what people listen to this show for is Valerie's news. And with that, take it away, Ms. Hernandez.
Thank you, Greg and Freddie. Definitely in today's news, I'll start with the weird, ridiculous news. I have something great to share. Samsung users can now download a game called Send Me to Heaven, which scores users on how high they can fling their smartphones into the air. It's been said that it's the last game you'll play on your phone. I don't really understand why anybody would download this, but it has been downloaded over 500,000 times.
If you take insurance out on a phone and you play this game, would the insurance cover it?
No, actually, when you download the game, you have to agree that you cannot,
sue them
for, damaging your phone. But, I mean, out of all things you can create and use your mind for good things, I don't know who would download this, but apparently 500,000 people
Is it
did.
on YouTube?
No, it's only for Android users. The Apple company actually rejected it, so they don't want people on the iPhone downloading it, and they didn't allow allow iPhone users to download this game. So
hooray for Apple on this
hooray
one.
for Apple! And you two Samsung users, I think
I
I've
think
got the
I'm gonna
better
download
phone. So that one's a Apple versus Android battle. And next up is Stephen Curry, who took a scary fall and slammed his head on the basketball court during the Golden State Warriors playoff game on May 25th.
Oh, God.
He eventually returned playing, but talk about, playing through pain.
Yeah, and Steph, he scored the most three-pointers in a playoff series. He's been shooting lights out. He seems like he's about 150 pounds dripping wet, but he could catch and shoot off the dribble, create his own shot. I really enjoy watching him play, but that was a nasty fall that he took.
That was a scary moment for everybody watching.
Yeah, because the Bay Area. Not only that, I mean he's a great guy, ambassador, does things the right way. He had a cute press conference with his daughter where she stole the show. But you want to know something? A good guy. First and foremost, I'm happy that that it only ended up being bumps and bruises. But he's an enjoyable person to watch, and the San Francisco area in basketball has not had really any sustainable success in the last 40 years. So they're one game away from going to the finals.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And next up, I feel like all of the news today are weird, so prepare for this one. A German woman, Annegret Rubnik, 65, gave birth to quadruplets after undergoing an artificial insemination procedure in the Ukraine. She's a single mother who already has 13 children, but just welcomed 4 more.
Wow.
And I think that they're canceling that show, like 19 and counting. Or
Yeah,
whatever
I'm
it is.
very upset about that.
But they have now 17, so they may be able to fill in.
Yeah, they might take the show to Germany and find this woman.
Fred, I never know of any of these. I knew with Steph Curry, but with these apps and these reality TV shows, I learned so much from Val. I don't really watch TV, but I could talk in social circles like I do from this segment of the show.
I'm a big reality TV fan, but those shows, the 16 and pregnant and the quadruplets and quintuplets, whatever they want to call them, I don't like those shows at all. But it's a trend, so.
I do all my summer watching with my mom's boyfriend, Don. Don, if you're listening, I'm looking forward to another great summer of us watching Power and The Bridge, and he introduces me to some of these shows also.
Great. And last but not least, 2 of B.B. King's daughters are alleging that the blues legend was poisoned to death by his closest associates. King's daughters made the accusations in separate, but they were identically worded. It stated that I believe my father was poisoned and that he was administered foreign substances to induce his premature death. He died on May 14th in a home hospice care in Las Vegas at the age of 89. The attending physician said that his cause of death was a multi-infarct dementia, which is caused by a series of small strokes. But the daughters say that the two of King's associates may have given him medication to induce a diabetic shock.
You talk about a wicked guitar player that it's just unbelievable. He collaborated with Eric Clapton, a lot of blues players I just loved. Was he the one with the guitar, Lucille? Fred, look that up.
I'll have to look it up during the break.
Okay, yeah, but
at 89 years, I mean, I know they're probably mourning their father, but 89 years is a pretty good run.
Yeah, I think most people would take 89 years, but again, you hope that it's not foul play regardless of what age you are. So Valerie, thank you for keeping us in the news. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about graduation and the debt that you accrue getting your sheepskin and learning a trade. So stay tuned for Gift of Life with Gregg. We'll be back.
ThrowItBetter.com. Do you need help with your bowling game? Are you taking the right 5-step approach? If you want to become a competitive bowler, even a recreational bowler that's considering joining a league, or a league bowler that is considering joining a tournament, you need to see Vince. He's going to show you how to throw it better. He'll get you the right equipment. He'll show you the right approach, and as a certified coach, he'll put you in the best position to succeed. If you're interested, please contact Vince at throwitbetter@gmail.com and tell him that Gregg sent you. Again, that's throwitbetter@gmail.com, or call Vince at 954-541-5414.
We want to extend a special thanks to our friends at the Boca West Foundation for all the wonderful work they do for Gift of Life and for all the meaningful service they give to the Boca Raton community. For over 3 years, the Boca West Foundation has generously supported local charities in the Boca Raton area. The Boca West Foundation. It's all about the kids. Are you in the market for a health plan? If so, please visit my good friend Gary at Health Plans Unlimited. No plan is too big or too small. Gary will customize a plan that's affordable and comprehensive, just for you. If you're interested, please visit Gary Goldman, the best in the biz, at www.healthplansunlimited.com. Again, that's www.healthplansunlimited.com. Or you can call Gary Goldman directly on his personal line at 954-303-6676. Again, that's 954-303-6676. And tell him that Gregg sent you directly from the Gift of Life. Health Plans Unlimited. We have the health plan for you. Welcome back to the Gift of Life with Gregg, the show that talks about giving and receiving. If you'd like to call into our show, we'd love to hear from you. Please call 888-565-1470. Again, that's 888-565-1470. And now, back to our show.
Thank you, everybody, and welcome back to the Gift of Life with Gregg. During our brief break, we're here today, May 26, 2015. We spoke about in our opening segment, Lewis, a 14-year-old boy that's in desperate need of a bone marrow transplant. And we just got a tweet from his father, Mario, who unfortunately couldn't be here today. But Mario did mention he wanted to get out to our listening audience. Lewis is of a unique ethnic background. It's certainly not common to bone marrow donors worldwide. He's of Honduran ethnicity, as well as Eastern European Jewish descent. If you know anybody that is that combination of ethnicities, please immediately have them give us a call at 1-800-9-MARROW. Now, when we did a search like we do all of our due diligence at Gift of Life, and Valerie and I, in fact, were doing this last week. Out of the whole country of Honduras, and again, Wikipedia is not the Bible for all answers, but just as a starting point, they said that there were only 40 to 50 Jewish families in the whole country. So again, it's going to be complicated for Lewis, not impossible, complicated. However, if you're listening to this or you have some influence in those communities, please have somebody give Corey a call at 1-800-9-MARROW. Again, a father is begging that somebody help his son. Now, I love dealing with interns, and I love young students, but one of the common themes over the last 2 years upon graduation is the ugly word debt. So in order to achieve their education, in order to learn a skill, the average amount of debt accrued is $30,000. $30,000. So it's a pricey proposition, and I do think it has some influence in what majors these students decide to go into. It is graduation time, and Fred, I'm going to go into this with you in a second, and potentially Valerie, to go over some of the thoughts that we speak about, because it has been a prevalent topic lately, and you know that we do cater to the 18 to 24-year-old community. So, but right now we have my partner in crime on the phone, Marty. Welcome to our show.
Hi, Greg and Valerie and Freddie.
Hi, Marty.
Hi, Marty. How's your little son feeling?
Okay, thanks.
All righty. So, again, Marty, if you could help us out, and we're talking about, I mentioned in our opening monologue that you steward all the walks. How could people get involved with becoming a corporate sponsor, and what exactly is a corporate sponsor for our listening audience?
Yeah, so it's very easy to become involved as a corporate sponsor, and also there are different levels of sponsorship, but we accept donations of any amount. So even if you can't meet that level of $500, which is that minimum, you can still become a sponsor, and sponsors get publicity at our events, including being on the T-shirts and sponsorship banners and recognized from our stage. And it's just a really nice way to show your support of the community event and also of Gift of Life. All of our walks are attended by the community in which they're in. So here in Boca, and then, as you said, New York and on East Meadow at Eisenhower Park, and then also in New Jersey and DC, and again, we'll be doing Boston next spring. So as we keep expanding, there's just more and more opportunities for people to become involved.
We certainly need the corporate sponsors. Marty, I don't know if you have the data off the top, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot. From the walks itself, do you know how many matches that we've had?
We have sponsored over 4,000 kits and have had, I believe, 74 matches to date.
That's unbelievable. It's a matter of communities getting involved, and we know that we have 6 walks on the books now, and I believe Chicago's the next city that we're going to go to. So it's a great way, especially if you're a local sponsor. People wear the running shirts all year round, and I try to promote mine as often as possible, and it is an inexpensive way to get great publicity and help a great cause.
Absolutely. And again, it's nice to show your support of the community. A lot of our sponsors come out to the walks that day. And it's a really nice family fun event where, as we always talk about, a donor and recipient meet each other for the first time. So it's something really special to be a part of as well.
And another thing that I know you're very passionate about, tell us about World Marrow Day.
Right, so September 19th is World Marrow Donor Day, and we are celebrating in conjunction with registries in every country the march to 25 million volunteer bone marrow and blood stem cell donors. So Gift of Life is looking to commemorate this day by hosting one drive in every state. And I think it's going to be great, and hopefully we'll involve some of our campus ambassadors, and it'll be really successful.
All righty. No, we're looking forward, and again, if anybody is interested in getting involved with a sponsorship, please leave Marty a message at 1-800-9-MARROW. And for those of you who like things quantitative, that's 1-800-962-7769. It's toll-free. All you have to do is call and get involved. Marty, we hope that your little one feels better, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, definitely. And also don't forget about the gala coming up. What is it, 2 weeks away?
2 weeks away. You and I are going to be there. It's on June the 11th. I believe Thursday, June the 11th in New York City. One of the most emotional things for me, and when you think about it at the time, going back to the 90s, we're going to be celebrating our founder, Jay Feinberg's, his 20-year transplant anniversary. And what he did for society would take 10 shows to fill up. I just want to say that him and his family, Arlene and Jack, and certainly the team at Gift of Life, I want to say hello to Barbie Slovin and Nelson Gonzalez as well, because they had been there with him for a very long period of time. Embarking on saving 3,000 lives is just such a humanitarian accomplishment that if you could go there just to see that alone and witness 20 years as well as 3 donors and recipient couples meeting for the first time, it's certainly worth the price of admission. So,
definitely. And even if you can't make it, for people who are listening that might not know what we're all about or want to learn more, they'll be able to watch it on Ustream live. And the link for the Ustream will be posted right on our website. So they'll be able to see really everything that we talk about every week.
Right, and our website, Marty, is www.giftoflife.org. So again, you could certainly make a contribution. You could watch it virtually in the comfort of your own home and hopefully feel and see the emotions of somebody that saved a life and somebody whose life was saved.
Right, and then maybe you can even join us next year if you can't make it this year.
Absolutely, and if you're in one of the areas where we do run an event, please sign up. If you can't make it to the gala, we'll have plenty of events, hopefully in your neighborhood, that you could join us for. So, Marty, thanks so much for calling in. Hopefully you'll be live in studio next week, and I hope all's well, and I'll speak to you soon.
All right, thank you.
All righty, bye-bye. The phones have been lighting up. I believe that we have Jesse on the line. Jesse, welcome to Gift of Life with Gregg. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks, Gregg, for it's the first time I've called in.
All righty. Jesse, where are you calling from, incidentally?
I'm originally from North Carolina, but I actually go to school up in Boston now, so I was at the Boston Walk.
Oh, what school in Boston?
I go to Boston College.
Go Eagles! It was so beautiful at Chestnut Hill Reservoir with the walk, and
yeah, it was.
What year are you in? Did you graduate, or are you a junior?
I just finished up my senior year.
Oh wow! Well, on behalf of congratulations on behalf of Gift of Life with Gregg and the Gift of Life family. Congratulations! And Jesse, what was your major?
I was a psychology major.
All right. So is graduate school in the question for you?
Yeah, just down the line sometime. Not quite yet. I took a job in Boston for a few years. I hope it to be a few years, and we'll see where that heads.
All right. One of the topics that we were speaking about today, because I have 2 recent college graduates in here. One is Freddie Santori, and the other one is my assistant and partner in crime, Valerie Hernandez. So, Jesse, one of the things that we were talking about is almost the unaffordable state to attend a university and to learn a trade. I'm going to ask you the shuddering question. How much debt are you graduating with?
With me, I had a scholarship, so that certainly helped a little bit, not a lot, but I would say it's probably close to a full year. So it's about $40,000.
Okay, so ouch.
Yeah.
So $40,000, and that's with getting a scholarship.
Yes, that's right.
So I have 3. So let me ask you: with a psychology major, Boston College is a great academic institution. The question that I ask, while I have a panel here, Fred, if you'd be if you feel transparent in stating what is your debt now that you've graduated.
My debt is a little bit over $33,000, so close to 34, and I'm slowly making payments because after 6 months of graduating, you have to start making payments. So I've started doing that. So hopefully I can get it down, in the next couple of years. They have a 10-year loan, so you have 10 years to pay it off.
With 10 years of interest.
Yeah, exactly.
And you, Miss Valerie?
Well, I am proud to say that only 10,000 in the hole, and that's only because I was 100% scholared until the last year that I started going part-time so that I could work as well. And if you're a part-time student, a lot of the grants and scholarships are taken away. You have to be a full-time student, and I would have been a zombie if I would have worked full-time and gone to school full-time. But 10 in the hole is a lot easier to pay back.
Right, and I'm not trying to tie 2 exclusive things together, but I will in this case. It gives me I want to praise all of you, Jesse, as well. You were there for that beautiful turnout that we have. We have so many young individuals that are volunteering, doing great civic responsibilities, and then yet have a $40,000 hole at the end of 4 years, which I've heard a lot worse, just to learn a trade. And the return on investment, I hope that you get more than just an education, but I hope that you grow in certain areas. So Jesse, did you ever consider going to a state university? You said that you were from North Carolina. I know Chapel Hill and Wilmington. There's a lot of other wonderful state institutions there. Was that ever on your radar?
Sure. For me, I just wanted to go somewhere different. I'd say that probably half of my high school wound up going to University of North Carolina. Chapel Hill, obviously. So for me, I just wanted to do something different because at some point I was lucky and towards the top of my class, and I kind of took it personally that I'd be going to the same college as people who were, in the middle. So for me, I wanted to go somewhere else, and I knew that to do that I'd have to go for a scholarship somewhere, and that's how I wound up in Boston College. So it was certainly on my radar, but I think that I don't think $40,000 over the course of a lifetime is enough of a deterrent, at least for me, to want to change the path of my whole life. But I could certainly see where it would be a deterrent for a lot of people. If I wouldn't have got that scholarship, I don't think it would have been an option.
It's funny you say that, Nick, because I remember when I was a senior. I'm sorry, Jesse. I'm so used to Nick calling in. I miss him. Jesse, when I was a senior in high school, I remember all the students were applying to schools far away, and they just wanted to get, out of their house with their, living with their parents. And, towards graduation, everybody's pretty much staying where they were at because they decided to go to the school that gave them, the most money. And it was usually a nearby school, except, for, the others who may have gone to other schools for a boyfriend or, I know some people like that.
I'm not going to mention who. But, the reason why I asked this is I interview people when I interview the new crop of entry level for an entry level position or an internship. One of the questions is why? What do you hope to achieve? And the question is, they said that they really want to go into an industry where they feel like they're making a difference, but they're not naive enough to realize that they have these significant debts to pay. So if it's not all within their let's say their first choice, because they do have in some cases enormous debt. Once you go into graduate school, it only expounds, and I believe that people should try to leverage their earning potential. There's no question about that. So I was reading an interesting article the other day where someone got accepted to all 8 Ivy League schools, again with a decent package, but would come out with $70,000 worth of debt. However, the University of Alabama Roll Tide, including the grants, scholarships, etc., would come out debt-free. Now, Jesse, what you were talking about before, going to a name school versus having no debt, this individual decided to go the no debt route. And again, over the course of a lifetime, I don't know what the difference in earning potential would be. Again, what is a name school? What is the intangibles? What is the goodwill worth? I don't have an answer. I would say for certain majors or for certain didactics and so forth, i.e. maybe finance, you may want to go to a school, but if it's state promulgated like education or some things where there's not a discernible difference in pay structure, depending on what school you go to, it may give you food for fodder.
Well, also, I think a lot of kids nowadays think about the experience that they could have at these colleges. Alabama is a great school to go to, and you have to also take into account the college atmosphere that one of these colleges may or may not have. So a lot of kids look at debt free, but they also look at, hey, I could also have a lot of fun here.
And I believe that you should have fun, and I'm not trying to denigrate a state school. There are many state schools. Some institutions are better than others. I personally would like a smaller school as opposed to an Alabama or a UCLA or a Maryland where it's very, very large. Some people crave the large atmosphere because there's something to do at all times. So again, I think you have to cater it towards your personality, but what has surfaced over the last year and change, more so, I probably interviewed over 2,000 people in the course of my lifetime, and a lot of it now has been, how do I subordinate my debt? How do I support my debt, yet still wanting to do what I want to do? So I think it's an interesting topic. Jesse, so I believe you said that you got a position upon graduation?
I did, yeah, which I consider myself pretty lucky to get.
What type of work are you going into? I don't need the company.
I'm going into a finance job. Certainly not the path I would have thought I would be doing when I first went to the university, but at this point, it was a decent job. It was in Boston, which I wanted to stay into, stay in for a few years, and I'm happy. I'm just happy, and I feel blessed to have that option.
No, I wish you the best of luck. Maybe you'll find out the psychology of finance, which if you do that, you'll be a very wealthy man. On another note, I definitely want to thank you for supporting the Gift of Life at the Walk. When you saw little James and a fellow, I don't know if you knew Kayla, who also graduated recently from Boston College. It was such a wonderful event.
Who knew him? We're all real happy to see it. It was an incredible event for everybody.
Absolutely fantastic. So, Jesse, we wish you success, and we're happy. We did announce our show at the Boston Walk, so we're happy that somebody has called from there. I believe that it's the third person. So, Jesse, keep up the good work, and check in with Gift of Light with Gregg. I can't thank you enough.
Anytime, Greg. Have a good one, and to you as well, Fred and Val.
Bye, Jesse. Thanks.
He has a good memory. I like Jesse. So, Fred, you didn't go to one school. You went to 3 schools.
Yes, I did.
All right. So
it doesn't mean I have to pay 3 times as much. It's just I went to 3 different schools, and I did a lot of traveling. So
was the third time the charm?
The third time was a charm. It was here in FAU. So
Go Owls.
I'm an owl, and a lot of, and I also did 5 years, so I think that also has a little bit of play into how much I have to pay back. But I wouldn't take away any of the experiences I've had, and it was my own personal choice to travel around and do these 3 different schools, different atmospheres altogether. And and I'm pretty happy with the 2 degrees that I received at FAU.
Which were?
I did a management and a marketing degree.
All right, so I'm going to put you on the spot here, Frederick.
Oh, no.
No, not a math question or anything, but the question is, have you been able to learn the theoretical since you've started your first professional career at Gift of Life?
The theoretical
that you learned in school?
It's hard to say because Gift of Life it's different. I never did nonprofit classes, so I didn't know anything about Gift of Life when I did start. And theoretically, I guess the management side is more towards of what I've been doing with Gift of Life, a little bit of marketing as well. So there are some principles that I do take from classes, and I use them. And I guess it really just comes natural. So those classes that I did very well in, I can use those to my benefit to help the organization. So yeah, I guess I have to say I did.
Gregg, I'm sure you agree with me that your education is the best investment you'll ever make. Your education is something that can never be taken away from you. And like Freddie was saying, I also believe that undergrad work is a lot of repetitive and busy work, and where you really earn your stripes is in grad school, where you really have to think outside the box. But I think the big takeaway from undergrad is speaking, and I believe that all the public speaking classes and speech and writing were the classes where you really learn from and can apply those to, your first job. Because all the other things were kind of mostly busy work. But, like you've said, those interviews, which I've been lucky or unlucky to be in most of them.
Maybe unlucky.
One of the biggest things that, we've encountered is, misspellings in your resume and your, email, and the structure was just, awful, and you're wondering, how they managed to get so far.
I've been shaking my head, and I'm not going to SMH for I'm learning that with texting, but I understand when people go on an interview that it is nerve-wracking, and I'm not one of those people that enjoy making people nervous. But if you can't sell yourself in what I consider to be, Valerie's my witness, in a relatively relaxed environment, I want people to be relaxed because I understand that it's nervous going for a first job, going through the interview process. I generally haven't been impressed. But Valerie, you made a very cogent point. When people say, what is your greatest asset, most people anchor towards their home or their car. And really, that's not the case. It's your ability to earn money. So let's say that your house is valued at $200,000, but that you're earning $60,000 a year. Within 4 years, you're going to surpass that. So really, your ability to earn is your greatest asset as an individual, and that's where you have to get trained. So I know we're veering off course a little bit, but as a public service announcement, I always say there's no such thing as job security, but there is such thing called career security. And what I mean by that, days in past, people might have spent 25 years at the same institution or the same vocation, same job. But if you're not current with what you're doing, and let's say a company is downsizing, or let's say that your family is moving, do you have transferable skills, or did you stay stale, or did you just stay, remit to that one organization? And if you did that, you did not position yourself well. So anybody that comes in, I'm very transparent. I said, do you have job security? Yeah, you're going to earn it, but more importantly, did you employ your own career security? And if they say no, then I tell them that they have a bigger problem. So right now we have one of our most loyal and frequent callers. We have Frankie on the line. Frank, how are you, buddy?
Greg, how we doing?
We are doing absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you're a Yankee fan, Frankie, but the Yankees certainly
we won a freaking game. You kidding me? I'm through the roof. We were 0 for 11. We finally won a ball game.
Yeah, but yesterday the bombs were bursting in air, 14-1, I believe it was, Frankie.
It was about time.
About time it is. So, Frankie, I know that you have some young children as well. We were talking about the debt accrued from attending college or university.
This scared the crap out of me. When I went to St. Francis College, Brooklyn, New York, 1980, it was about, I want to say $80, $90 a credit hour. It was nothing compared to today. Today, I want to say, this day, I took Frank Jr. there for a game about 2 years ago, and out of curiosity, I looked it up. $600 it was.
What, a credit?
For credit, St. Francis College, Brooklyn, New York. We're not talking about Harvard here, Greg. We're about Francis College, Brooklyn. What, are you joking me?
Wait, Brooklyn College is $600 a credit?
Crazy. It's crazy.
Brooklyn College, isn't that a state school or a city school?
No, this is St. Francis College.
Oh, St. Francis in Brooklyn.
Correct.
The Terriers.
I was lucky enough to go there. I had I went there on a partial scholarship out of high school because I didn't get cracked in the hands too much by the rulers of the nuns, so they thought I was a good kid. But these days, these parents, they got to remortgage their home and their kids get A's on their report card. Are you kidding me? It's nuts.
No, you want to know something? We have dear friends in our neighborhood that took out a second mortgage so their children could attend an elite middle school. So I question the sanity of that, but everybody is doing what they could to best, I guess, position their children. So how much is it now for Frank Jr. to go to St. Francis?
I'm going to say it's going to cost. I mean, it's a private school, so it's spent like 25 grand a year.
Is he living in Brooklyn, or is he going to be living at home?
I don't know, because we're all the way out. We're all the way out
in Suffolk,
in Bayshore. So we're pretty far out there. But hey, this is the sad thing. You ready for this?
Yes.
He's smarter than me. He's going to go to way better college than that, and that's what really scares me. I was a knucklehead. I barely got in there. Obviously got some help. From the moment he was born, I'm throwing books in his hand. I want to become better than me, become smarter. This kid's going to go on to a great school, and in the meantime, I'm going to be penniless and probably begging for change. I'm going to be coming on the show asking people for a couple bucks so I can go out to eat.
No, but let me ask you a question. So here it is. As a parent, if you're from Long Island, so let's say that they could go to Queens College inexpensively if they got a scholarship to one of the SUNY schools, inexpensive, versus going to, let's say, an Ivy League or an expensive private school. What would you recommend?
It's tough, because from the time he was a little kid, I've told him, you go to the school that you want to go to, and if it's a good school, we'll figure it out on our end. That's being your mom's job. We'll figure it out. You just do your job, which is to get good grades. And now that is coming true, now we're in a tight spot because obviously there are some great SUNY schools. There are also, like any other state school, university system, there are some real crap ones out there. So I don't want them to go to the crap ones. I want them to go to a good school because it's what I promised them. But it's going to cost us a lot, and in ways that we see, it's going to cost him in a certain way. Because obviously, if he goes to a good state school, it costs us less. We can help him out later in life. But that's not really the deal we worked out, is it? Because we told him to do a good job in school, and that's all we told him to do. So it's a very difficult situation because you don't want to let 17 or 18-year-old kids be worrying about that stuff when you've worked hard your whole life that they don't have to. And I think that's a position that a lot of people, like myself and Francesca, are in. You want to do a good thing. You want to help out your kids. But are you hurting them in the long run by having them go to these private schools? That's a good question.
The question is, if you're going to amass $250,000 more in debt, for certain positions, I never think that you will make that up over the course of a lifetime. We used teachers and educators who I have the utmost respect for. Let's even say nurses who I have the utmost respect for. Does the name brand make that much of a difference in their life's earning potential? I would venture to say probably not. If you're talking about finance and medicine and psychology, you may have an argument. But when you're talking about a spread of $250,000, are you doing your family a service or a disservice? And you want to know something? I think I'm going to be in that boat with you, Frankie. So it's an interesting topic. It's an interesting topic that I wish that we could spend more time on. Although Ken on the other side of the glass has given me less than the 1 minute warning, so we just crossed the end zone. Frankie, again, always thanks for your input, and go St. Francis Terriers. Everybody, I want to close the show. Again, we got several tweets from Mario, which is Lewis's father. I speak to Sammy every week. If you could afford to pay it forward, I'm asking you for 33 cents a day, $10 a month. Let's do it together. Let's save a life together. Everybody, I want you to have a great week. Enjoy your gift of life. God bless, and we'll be here next week. Have a great week.
Thanks for tuning in to The Gift of Life with Gregg. I wanted to personally say thank you to everyone who participated in today's show. And I also wanted to let you know if that you're interested in what we do here at The Gift of Life, please call 1-800-9-MARROW. That's 1-800-9-MARROW. Or you can visit our website at www.giftoflife.org. Again, that's www.giftoflife.org. Even though we're wrapping up our show today, remember, you must always unwrap the gift of life.
The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.